Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And welcome to Crisis Club number 11. This is the series where we're going to explain Crisis on Infinite Earths by every single issue. This time, we're talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths number 11. So welcome to Crisis Club. This is your first time around. Boy, are you going to be confused. That's all I'm going to say. Guys, we're doing this because there is a DCTV crossover that is going to combine all the Arrowverse shows. It's called Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we figured that this would give you a window into the world of that crossover. So there will be spoilers for this comic book series. If you haven't read it, you're going to be really confused. This is part 11. What are you doing here? Okay, issue 11 is called Aftershock. It was written and edited by Marv Wolfman, penciled by George Perez with inks by Jerry Ordway, lettered by John Costanza, colored by Anthony Tollin, and this was published in February of 1986. Ashley,
yes,
start us off. Let's talk about this cover, but before I have you talk about the cover, in the trade, they lose the trade dressing, but if you look at the original single issues...
I had no idea this was a cover. I just thought these were panels.
See, now here's the difference.
I thought this was a backup.
So that is the trade paperback. This is the single issues on Comixology right now. If you look up here, they kept the trade dress, which has the DC celebratory
and the numbers
50 up there, which is very interesting. I think looks really, really cool.
Sure brought back for the 80th.
Now, actually, let's talk about this. Okay, yeah, this is like sort of a series of vignettes, a clip show of everything that happens in this issue on the cover.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I didn't realize that at the time.
Yep, every one of these things are panels that happen in the issue.
Who's the girl with the purple?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Oh no, it's Amethyst.
Oh yeah, it is Amethyst, who's been in none of this so far.
She's been in a couple panels.
And then shows up. Yeah.
But she hasn't been a major player.
But I'll tell you what my favorite thing about the cover is we got to Robin and Huntress down at the bottom. I actually really like this story. I think it's very interesting. Yeah, everything on the cover is what happens here. We also finally get a return of Harbinger.
By the way,
I'm very excited about.
Favorite cameo on this cover? I pointed out Starro last time.
Treadmill?
No, in the bottom left-hand corner, I believe that's Alfred on the cover.
In the bottom left?
Bottom left-hand corner. I don't know.
There's a woman in the bottom left-hand corner.
So you can't see it on the the trade sucks. If you look at the digital.
Someone pushed it.
Look at the digital issue right here.
Fine. I'm gonna.
Right here.
That person that's not on my.
Look right here. This in the left-hand corner. That's Alfred.
Whoever this production artist is, should be fired. I'm gonna.
This is exciting television. I'm telling you that right now. Ashley's scanning a book. This is compelling.
They're not even credited. There's no credit. This is just all.
So look at the digital issue so we can move on, please.
Sam Andes, it's your fault.
Right there, Alfred.
Alfred is not.
Yeah. So look at you can scan. I don't know if you can push it on this. Our editor Adam, but the digital issue you can see Alfred to the left of Zatanna.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was Zatanna. Great. There's two Robins on this cover, so I'm here for it. The rebirth of the universe is summed up again, even though we just read it. Much more beautifully, I would say here. I really love this pink panel in the middle with that classic 80s pink color.
Ashley, before you turn past the first page, there's a little planet on the first page. The universe is reborn.
Earth?
Yeah, what's the name of that planet?
Earth?
Incorrect! Incorrect, Ashley.
Krypton?
If you know about the DC Comics continuity, this is now...
That's North America.
No. Well, yeah, it is. This is New Earth.
Oh, go suck an egg.
Well, this is the reason why I'm going to bring it up, because this starts, this issue starts New Earth. New Earth is the Earth that existed in DC Comics continuity from about 1986 to about 2011, because before then it was considered Earth 1.
Oh, and not Earth Prime?
Nope, Earth 1. And then...
I think we just illustrated the necessity of this event.
Yes, and then, get ready, after Flashpoint and the New 52, that's when it's renamed Earth Prime.
Okay.
One, I think that's all stupid, but
it's all Earth.
Well, DC's continuity is so messy because they've rebooted so many times that sometimes that's the only way that you can divide up, like, which part of the Superman's history are you talking about? I'm talking about New Earth Superman. Oh, okay.
I just want to take the Grant Morrison approach and embrace it's all in continuity. All of it happened.
So I just want to distinguish that we are technically,
New Earth.
This is the first appearance of New Earth in DC Comics history.
Let's talk about the Daily Star.
You mean the Daily Planet?
No, I mean the Daily Star.
He thinks it's the Daily Star because on New Earth there is no Daily Star.
I love that. Also, the Daily Star is a piece of Superman lore that I think is pretty much lost.
Do you want to explain it to everybody?
Post this to the ages. The Daily Star was the OG newspaper that Clark Kent worked at that later evolved into the Daily Planet.
Yes.
But the Daily Star was preserved on Earth 2 and in other continuities for a long time, and post-Crisis is largely forgotten. So
Yeah.
I just like, I know that reference is timely here, but for me it was a very nostalgic reference.
And I will say that I love, by the way, I gotta point out when Clark Kent wakes up, 344 Clinton Street is the classic street number of Clark Kent's apartment in comic book history, so I love that. But I also love that, again, Earth 2 Superman in his continuity became the editor-in-chief.
Which walks into Perry White's office.
Is a perfect, but I love it. Perry White's like, "Who are you, son? What are you doing here?" Ha! You know.
I also love that, like, young Clark Kent is like, "That's my uncle, Clark," and everyone's like, "You're right. Sure."
Look, it's comic books. You just gotta go with it.
This is fine.
You just gotta go with it. Also, first appearance of New Earth Perry, New Earth Lois, New Earth Jimmy.
Still wearing a bow tie.
We're gonna talk a lot. I'm gonna save it for part 12, but we're gonna talk a lot about the divide because this is the first, or technically this is the second time, but this is the first time in modern history that we like put a giant wall in Superman and said everything before didn't happen.
Yeah, Superman also says curiouser and curiouser. That's the young, hot Superman making the most basic white girl Alice in Wonderland reference of all time. There's a couple other literary references that happen in these two issues, but they're all the really obvious one, and that's no fun.
But we should talk about
Jay Garrick?
the story part. We're the story point that the characters that were at the dawn of time all think that nothing has changed. They still think that this is that combined Earth of the 5 different Earths. Remember the big plot point in the last 6 issues. So
this is the unraveling of that understanding. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now, just because I don't think that
a denouement, if you will.
I think we're gonna see this exact same scene in the DCTV crossover.
A version. I don't know if it'll be between the Supermans.
No.
There's a chance because we do have a number of Supermen who've been cast or who are rumored to have been cast. But we will get a version of this certainly. To me, it makes more sense to give this scene to like some Olivers.
I was gonna say Flash and Supergirl.
But we will get a version of this.
But yes, we get to Jay Garrick, and this is the first time that introduced the idea that Central City and Keystone City were combined.
Sister cities.
Actually, do you know why that's significant? Do you know how it was in the previous continuity?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't.
Keystone City on Earth 2 was the home to Jay Garrick. Central City in Earth 1 was the home to Barry Allen.
Oh, so they didn't exist on the same Earth?
No.
I thought they were always sister cities.
No.
Like your Kansas cities.
This is the thing that made them the Kansas City of the 2 cities across the river.
I like that a lot. I also like that, I think what they did with Jay Garrick here is really clever, that Jay Garrick exists on this Earth, but he's not super.
Yep.
I think that's a really, really interesting fix. I also think, man, his wife...
He is super, he has powers.
But nobody here knows that he was the Flash.
Yes, exactly.
The other great thing, specifically about the Jay Garrick storyline, is we get Wally!
And the Cosmic Treadmill.
I don't like the Cosmic Treadmill. I think it's really...
Well, you need to get over that.
I think it's really lame, and I think it's definitely going to show up on the TV show.
It will be in the TV show.
We've had so many versions of it, but I think we're going to get the classic, what we think of the classic comic book, the one that we've seen in Young Justice, we're going to get that on the TV show.
Now, so here's the interesting thing. So they use the Cosmic Treadmill to travel the multiverse, and when they get out there ain't nothing.
I love that. I love that it's just like this void.
And when they see the void, that is one of the panels from the cover.
Again, but this is, it's not exactly the same.
It's not exactly the same, but it's the same scene.
Because they drew these by hand, so
Yes.
this is not Command C, Command V, which is what it would be now.
Photoshopped
It's a
did not
version of
exist.
this. But I love the composition of this panel. This is another one where, like, we were talking about negative space in the previous episode. The use of negative space here is with the black, but I think it's just really, really stunning. And I think if you're looking to be a comic book artist, this is why you need to be looking at the Wolfman and Perez
And there is
work.
an interesting point here where Earth 2 Superman feels compelled to go out into the blackness and not exist.
North.
I'm gonna save this thing for my later DC TV predictions. There's something I want to talk about specifically in this scene.
Okay.
So let's keep
Rip Hunter's
on.
gonna be there, right?
I hope so. Rip Hunter does show up, and there's this weird line where Animal Man and Brainiac and all these people are just kind
Also,
of chilling
Dolphin
out.
is part of, like, ever since Tula's death, they're just like, and Dolphin is here now in her booty shorts.
Yeah, that's a little weird. But basically all the heroes are kind of stuck in Titan's Tower, kind of all wandering around being like, what happened?
I love how Lady Quark is just so mad that she still exists. She's so mad about everything. She will not be in the television show, but I love her so much. I think she's such a great character.
But we have to talk about the great character. Harbinger shows up on the next page, and because the universe has been reborn, she has her powers
She has
back.
also been reborn as an agent of the universe.
Yes. Now let's talk about Earth 2 Robin and Earth 2 Huntress.
I have
Ashley.
predictions.
But let's talk about the scene.
Yes,
We can say the predictions.
Really, also, I put this, if you follow us on Patreon, which if you're watching this, you do, I put this page, it's page 12 in the issue, I put this page on the lens because I think that Earth 2 Huntress has such good fashion.
Well, her Batman
Where she-
cape, her very classic Batman cape is really cool.
But even like when she changes, like I just think Helena Wayne, and I said this on our Geek History lesson on Huntress, is peak Huntress.
Yep.
She's Huntress perfected. I like her much better than the Bertinelli version. But Robin and Huntress are caught up in not understanding why their apartments don't exist, their phone numbers don't exist, their parents don't exist, their mentors don't exist, and they use them to personify, more than Superman, but sort of in an analogous story, what that loss is like. To have everyone you love not die, but have never been.
I love the line, the last part of this scene, where Helena says, and this is a great piece of writing by Marv Wolfman, "Don't you understand me, Dick? I don't exist."
Look at how cute Dick looks too in his casual uniform with his little gray hairs. We'll talk about this in DC predictions. I really hope we get this scene.
Or a version of this.
Version of the scene. I think this scene is so powerful, and I think there's a reason that Helena Wayne, Earth 2 Huntress, does come back later on.
Now we sort of get a quick history of the DC Universe by Harbinger, where we get the idea that the freedom fighters fought in World War II, and that all these characters that were on different Earths are actually just always part of this Earth.
I actually think this is such a cool idea that because all of the things that happen on DC Earth here are basically what have happened on our Earth and our real history, and that this is actually piecemeal from all these different Earths, even though Earth 1 was always more or less a version of our Earths. But I like the idea that okay, all of the history as we understand it is a composite of all the worlds. I think that's really cool.
And then we get a great moment where Superman gets so concerned that his Lois and his Krypton never existed, and he flies off as like it's unfair.
He's really hung up on the Krypton never existing. For you, as a big Superman fan, does that strike true? Because he never knew Krypton.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's like saying your hometown never existed. It's like saying that, you know, yeah, it makes sense.
Okay,
It's fine.
cool.
I don't know how much was it.
He just brought it up so many times that I thought it was strange because I was like, you've never been to Krypton, so I understand being upset about Lois, but I guess I didn't understand him being upset about Krypton as much. That's all.
Yes. Okay, so then we go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we have a very interesting scene about these cops investigating. Actually, there's a cop in here that I thought you should know. A little gentleman with a cigar and a hat.
Oh, Mr. Bullock?
Mr. Harvey Bullock showing up here, Batman.
He's looking real rough in this issue. He's been through some stuff.
Yes. Then there's some kind of cosmic-y stuff because Amethyst starts fighting the shadow demons. The shadow demons that should not exist right now.
That we also haven't seen for several issues. So what could it mean?
Yes,
it means we have one more issue to fill.
Yes. So basically, we learn that Amethyst can't stay on this Earth anymore. Dr. Fate takes her home to her Earth, and we tie over into that issue. But we get some interesting moments here where the Earth 2 Wonder Woman goes to Paradise Island. And Hippolyta's like, who the hell are you?
You're also visibly older than me. Now, a couple episodes ago, I said that we needed Susan Eisenberg to, that was in the mailbag episode, that we needed her to be in the crossover. I think this would be a great place to put her. Make her Earth 2 Wonder Woman.
Now, the greatest thing I think happens in the next issue where Power Girl is trying to figure out, because again, Power Girl is an anomaly of Crisis on Infinite
You mean
Earths.
on the next page, not on the next issue.
Yes, my bad. Power Girl's an anomaly because she is the Earth 2 Supergirl, but somehow she exists and people remember her. And then Batman and Robin, Jason Todd Robin,
Beady
show
Jason
up.
Todd.
And they, of course, have done some detectiving. And they bring up a very interesting point here. They were like, oh, we've done some investigating. It seems like most people have survived. But now there's only one Joker, one Riddler, and one Penguin. What is he talking about there? Well, he's talking about that in the Golden Age, in the Silver Age, it was kind of assumed that those characters were different Penguins, different Riddlers, different Jokers. That is sort of what Jeff Johns is sort of working on in his comic series that we'll probably never publish, Three Jokers. But then there's such a great scene where Lex Luthor doesn't remember one single thing about Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yep.
It's just fun to give that moment to Luthor because he is of such supreme intelligence in this world. And he's basically like, yo, leave me alone. I'm not falling for your trick. I know what you're here to do. And he couldn't be more wrong.
Yes. And at the moment in this issue where all the heroes are like, well, I guess this is what's going to happen. Suddenly Pariah goes, ah! And then the Earth shifts to the antimatter universe and the Anti-Monitor is still alive. And he goes, welcome to my universe. Welcome to your doom. That's my Anti-Monitor.
You do see his eyes sparking like Michael Myers.
Yes.
Like, he never really dies.
And then we get a tease that the double-side finale is going to be called The Final Crisis.
Little did they know that that title would be lifted and given to Grant Morrison in about 30 years.
Yep. And this is where we got to say goodbye to some of our characters. No one. Real quick before we move on, fun facts. Actually, I want you to know that this is New Earth history, as we said. In Earth 1, Superman now states that he found a reference to Kara dying in battle, but in fact, in this New Earth continuity, there's no Supergirl.
Yeah.
So how can he remember? Also, the Cosmic Treadmill is destroyed in this issue, but later on in the Flash solo series led by Wally West, it shows up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go straight into the rating of this issue based on a scale of 1 to 5 Earths, 5 being the best. Ashley, what are you gonna give this issue?
I liked this issue a lot.
Yep.
Honestly, like, not a ton happened in it in terms of like different events. It's a lot more expository, but it blows out our new world and our new status quo in such an interesting way, and it hangs the hat of that on these incredible emotional beats.
Yeah.
I think after issues 9 and 10, it's great. It's practically perfect in every way, and of course there's beautiful art on top of it. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5. I loved this issue. How about you?
I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5 as well. I think couching it in the idea that all these characters, what they think they know is wrong now, and getting to live a little bit in the new Earth, I thought was really great, especially couching it in Earth 2 Superman. I thought that was a really nice way to do it. So if you want to read more before we get to the final issue, here's the official reading order of Crisis. It comes from the official Crisis on Infinite Earths companion. So you read Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 11, then you read Amethyst Volume 2, number 13. That's where Dr. Fate and Amethyst went. Green Lantern Volume 2, number 196. Green Lantern Volume 2, number 197. And then it's the final issue, baby. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 12. All right, so let's go into our predictions for DCTV Universe. Ashley, do you have any predictions for what you think from this issue might happen, or things that might happen in the crossover?
So what I want to happen, Arrow has a Huntress. We saw her in the first 3 seasons.
And there's rumors that she's coming back.
She's fine.
Yeah.
She's a completely fine version of the Huntress. I would love it if they made her Earth 2 Huntress, and I would love it if they saddled her with a Robin and we actually got that scene.
I don't know.
What I think is more likely to happen, and I don't want to see, but I think is more likely, is that scene will be given to either the future generation from Arrow, the kids, or it will be given to Felicity, or it will be given to a standing Arrow cast member. And I don't have a problem with a lot of these storylines and these characters being adopted by some of our standard cast members, because I get it, you can't stunt, like we talked about with the Uncle Sam speech in the last issue, you can't stunt cast Uncle Sam. Well, you can, but when there are other viable options, I understand that, right? So like, Ollie's gonna be stepping in for a lot of Batman stuff, Barry's gonna be stepping in for a lot of Superman stuff, on and on and on and on. I just think because we already have a Huntress, I would love to see some version of that.
Go ahead.
I think if they do go the Huntress route, it might be Huntress paired with Batwoman, because I think Batwoman is going to be more involved in this crisis than we are maybe prepared for or have been thinking, because her show is launching directly out of it. Okay, what do you want to add?
The twist of that, I think, is that you won't see a Dick Grayson, you won't see a Robin in that scene.
I just want to see Robin!
If Huntress is in this crossover, and if they do that scene, what they're gonna do is they're gonna twist it that we will meet in the crossover an Oliver Queen that's married to Huntress.
Oh, Okay.
And we'll see that Earth's version Huntress, and then whenever the Earths change, that Oliver Queen will be dead, and she'll be like, but on this Earth, I was never married to Oliver. It's like I don't exist.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that, or I'd be fine if they decided that, like, in that universe, Roy Harper became Robin whatever.
I'm gonna twist it even further. I would put it, because we know he's in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we know he's in Arrow Season 8, I would twist it to where she's married to Tommy Merlin.
Great.
And then when the Earth changes, Tommy Merlin, she's like, Tommy's dead in this universe, blah. You know.
Tommy, I will be shocked if Tommy makes it out of Crisis alive.
He won't.
Because he's the sacrificial lamb of the Arrow universe.
He will be in Crisis.
Yeah, for sure. Also, if you look at their, I'm sure, because they always give it away when he's on set. So if we know that they're shooting Crisis, you'll be able to tell by Instagram.
Well, the idea, again, they talked about this, is that they said that the idea that he's in a good chunk of Arrow Season 8. So I kind of feel we're going to get him multiple times.
Haunting Oliver.
I think we're going to get...
we saw last season.
Yeah, I think we're going to get multiple versions. In fact, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they stunt cast Tommy as a hero in this universe.
Great.
And so that he's along for a certain point, and then he just gets killed.
What if they made him Nightwing?
They won't do it.
God, but he'd look good in that
There's not going to be a Nightwing, and there's not going to be a Robin in this one.
Good in that. I just want a Robin. Give me a Robin.
The only Robin they're going to give you is Burt Ward. That's going to be the only Robin you're getting in this.
Well, you know, that's fine.
So,
some people think he's going to be Batman of his universe.
So, this is my prediction. Remember I talked about the scene where they go out to check out the multiverse?
Yes.
We will get that scene, and that scene will be between Vibe, probably Martian Manhunter, Supergirl, and somebody else. It won't be Barry, because Barry's...
Pariah?
Barry's gonna be gone after this crossover. Like, I think they're gonna put Barry on a shelf for 2 episodes, but everybody will think he's dead, so that headline is real. So they'll go out there, they'll see blackness, and Supergirl will want to go to the blackness, because, this is my prediction, and we kind of hinted at this before, we might have talked about this before, this will be the crossover that will smash Supergirl into the Arrowverse.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that.
Yes, so all of the Arrowverse now will take place on one Earth. There will be no Earth 38 anymore.
Yeah.
And Supergirl will want to go to the blackness because...
So Black Lightning will probably be there as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know exactly who's going to be out there. Vibe will definitely be there, because Vibe will be the one that'll be taking them on the portal. But Supergirl will have that moment.
Do you think Supergirl will largely carry the Earth 2 Superman arc from this issue, as much as they're going to adapt it? Where she's like, oh, my Alex is gone, and my Monel is gone, and I'm so sad, and my Krypton is gone.
I think that's going to be Brandon Routh Superman.
Oh, do you think he makes it out of the crossover alive?
No, he dies. He either dies or get the just reward. I don't know who it is. No, it's because all these Superman scenes, I think, are going to be between Brandon Routh Superman and Tyler Hoechlin Superman.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Routh Superman will somewhere in this crossover, or he'll get his just reward or something like that.
Yeah, I think Ollie might be the one to get the just reward at the end.
Oh, I think Ollie. We're talking a lot about issue 12 here. I know it's because it's hard not to, because they mix over, but
they're also, these 2 issues are very integrally tied together. So let's wrap this up so we can move on to talking about issue 12.
All right, so thanks for watching Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 11 Crisis Club. Thank you so much. We hope we're illuminating to all the Earths for you out there, and thank you so much to our Patreon for giving us the support to be able to do Crisis Club. Patreon.com/Jawiin. Thank you so much. So this has been it for Crisis Club. Some future worlds died. People are done arm wrestling. People are showing up in offices that they don't belong in. And the Anti-Monitor's laughing from beyond. I'm Jason.
I'm Ashley.
Crisis Club.